know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG.
We're back, baby, and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back on for another season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With a new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the number one source for everything football. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Pretty solid. Don't forget to use our promo code BLEAV BELIEVE to receive your bonus. From football, basketball, and boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
In the house.
Okay, let's go.
Hey. What it do?
Yeah.
Hey, that's my puzzle maker.
What up, E. Warfield? What up, Green Eye Bandit? What up there, JD?
What's happening? What's going on, Barber?
Hey, man, I tell y'all, I don't know if you remember JD. I used to live, 2 houses from barbershop in Leewood?
Yeah.
Bro, I come home thinking I'm in an empty house. This dude is at my dining table making puzzles by himself in my house.
What?
Man, sometimes you have to make the time go by, man. I love putting those puzzles together, those 5,000 piece puzzles.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of keys around my house, but I could go to Warfield's house, lay it on that big old 7-foot dining room table you had. Start, hey man, put together, you start with that board to get that board together, then the pieces fall together, man. That's how I, got peace of mind, bro.
Yeah, the sanctuary. That's all right. But you say you just walk in, he just in there doing the puzzle.
Walk in, he in the crib making the puzzle.
Piece by piece, man.
Good times. I know only would.
Yes, sir. So what's been going on, man? What's been going on? I see y'all got this new Chiefs podcast kicking. Y'all doing y'all thing each week.
We're trying some, Shop. It's slowly becoming a passion of ours right now. We're getting some good fun guests on. We got some great ex-players, some regular Joes to call on, and I don't want to call them regular Joes, but just your average fan and other people that have podcasts. They call on and give us their little layout of the season and what they're doing. So that's about it, man. That's all we do is talk Chief stuff on here.
Gotcha. Good outlet. Positive or negative.
Hadn't been a good year so far, but hey, we're still on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I still wake up, see that sun shining, so every day I feel blessed. And
That's right.
We talk about the kingdom, talk about the Chiefs.
That's
They
right.
got some bumps and bruises, you know what I'm saying? Everything don't work out the same way, but eventually they'll learn how to hold on to the ball. Then eventually they'll learn how to cover guys. So
Yeah.
those two things right there is different between being 2-3 and 5-0.
That's true. There it is. That's right. I tell people all the time, man, we probably had that's the toughest 5-game stretch in the NFL. Shoot, I don't know who had one tougher, to be honest with you. And when I look at the people, that we played, I mean, shoot, was that 4 playoff teams, after the 5 weeks. So, shoot, and an up and coming team.
Yeah. The Eagles were not no slump. I mean, obviously they got some deficits in their squad, but all in all, the other teams we play, I mean, all those teams are probably going to win their division. So it's gonna be tough. We go through the tough part of the schedule. I think they said that like you said, our first 5 games is the toughest schedule in the NFL. But then obviously the season gets remarkably easier. Obviously, except for that Green Bay game and except for the Cowboys game. Besides those 2 games, I think we got a lot of I'm not gonna say cakewalk, it's never a cakewalk, but we got a lot of below average teams to play. Then of course got to play the Chargers again. So
Yeah.
You know, my take is I know y'all said that those are all playoff teams, but you know, at the beginning of the season, if you look at those teams, yes, they are good teams. They are playoff teams, up and surging teams. Before this season started, you would still look at the Chiefs and say, we're better than every last one of those teams. Before the season started, you could easily say we're better than all those teams. Do I see any losses in that category? Beforehand, no, I didn't see us losing any of those games, but we have. And it's mainly because of it's just bad play. You know, offense isn't thriving the way that they did in the past. Defense has just been struggling since day one. But the thing is the defense hasn't been all that great from the years of Mahomes being here. You know, it's always been it's mostly been a shootout. You know, and outside of the Super Bowl year, they had some decent stops and had some decent games defensively. But we've been riding this coattail of the offense ever since he's been here. So for whatever reason, Veach, Andy Reid, and Spags, they haven't done a good job of drafting and getting free agency picks. None of these guys are paying out. You know, I'm a ride or die with the guys that we have, and that's why I hate all the the negative talk about Dan Sorensen,
Right.
because right now he's getting a lot of heat. You know, people want him gone. They want Thornhill in. Throw Thornhill in. Give him some reps. Take some of the heat off of Dan, but I don't think Dan's that bad of a guy. Shit, he made it to the NFL for a reason. You know, he's got a Super Bowl ring for a reason. Mm-hmm. It's just that right now our defense as a whole isn't playing worth crap.
Right. And to be honest with you, we haven't had a whole defense since from the very beginning. We haven't had a healthy defense. Matthew's been out, Clark's been out, Chris Jones was out, Gay was out. So you ain't had all your pieces in at one time. But I agree with you, man. Look, we've been getting beat up on the D line. And like you said, Sorensen, I don't care who you put back there. Ain't nobody could cover anybody all day. Just, when somebody has that much time to throw the football without any type of pressure, you're going to struggle. You're just going to struggle. And so, especially, man, this week when you had a guy who has the legs and can run and the ability like Allen, so anytime you have a running quarterback, it's going to be difficult for defense anyway, because that's just an extra guy that you got could do more with the football. So, if you have a healthy Chris Jones, maybe it changes things a little bit. I don't know. Maybe. But like I said, I've always said this, just got to get a little bit more up front, man. I went back and watched this game right before we got on here, and I'm just like glaringly, it's just like no pressure. And the time that, you thought was going to get home, penalty or something like that happened
or he breaks the pocket.
And like at running back, like a running quarterback, he'll tear you apart.
Our front seven has no speed. I've been saying this since day one. We got no speed. I think if we were to play a Tom Brady right now, Tom Brady could rush for 80 yards against our front seven.
Lord have mercy.
Man, that made me giggle right there. That's a good one. That made me giggle right there a little bit. I don't know if I agree completely with no speed. I know we got some guys. Obviously, Willie Gay is probably one of the faster linebackers in the league right now. But obviously, you got to get
the season, though, Barbershop. I'm just saying, going into the season right now, our speed within the front seven, we don't have it. That's the only reason you would let Jalen Hurts throw for 380-some yards against you. Jalen Hurts is not even a prolific passer, but he's able to scramble and make those plays. Allen, he's a playmaker. Dude is a top 5 quarterback to me. Been ever since last year. And to let him get out of the pocket, he's gonna make those nice dime throws or big runs. He's been known for making those big runs. And if you don't have the kind of speed, yes, Bolton is probably the quickest guy we got. Gay is fast, but he's out. We don't have him. Our defensive line has no speed at all. So when you get upfield and they break pocket, who's gonna add that extra pressure? Who's gonna keep that quarterback from getting outside?
So Willie Gay is working his way back in. I think he had 20 snaps his last game.
But you think he's a savior though? As a linebacker, you think he's a savior for our defense?
I mean, he's a guy that can go sideline to sideline. He's a guy we got to go with. I think the other guys we have in are more experienced. They're probably more instinctive, but as of right now, they're just not making plays. So you got to put guys in there that can make plays. So I think I'd rather gamble with, Willie Gay, sometimes going the wrong direction and maybe not knowing the calls and stuff like that and still be a playmaker. Because it only takes, hey, you knock that ball out, get that interception, that corrects a lot of things. And I think that's what we've seen, even going back to last year at Buffalo. Their defense wasn't anything to smile about that first half. There was a bunch of penalties, a bunch of missed tackles. When it got down to the red zone, they stiffened up their back. They were able to hold us to a field goal. And then their special teams came down, knocked the ball out, got the ball back for their offense, got them rolling. But before then, I think our first drive was like a 16, 17 play drive. We just stalled out because of the penalty.
Yeah.
And then it got us, kind of held us to a field goal. But other than that, man, like I always believe, defense is about putting playmakers on the field. So whether the secondary guys, linebackers, or guys up front, and that's what we say. If you watch the game, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens against Indianapolis Colts, the Colts whipped their butts for 3.5 quarters. And then at the last 6-7 minutes of the game, all of a sudden the Ravens playmakers came out. Calais Campbell came out of nowhere, right? Mark Andrews scored 3 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown, overtime touchdown. Lamar was finding his guys, the playmakers, to make plays in critical time of that game. They ended up coming back from a 16-point deficit to pull out that win at home. So, I think our playmakers just need to stand up and make some more plays.
So what you're saying that, the question is, and I think that's what he is kind of alluding to a little bit. Do we have those guys on defense, right? Do we have those guys that may be, I don't know, are they hiding in the locker room? Where are they at? They don't want to play. Willie Gay, I believe, like you said, is one of the fastest linebackers in the league. Now, I'm looking at his recognition because look, you can be fast all you want to, but if you're not recognizing, like lane responsibility where you need, it don't matter. And I was just kind of, like I said, I was going back, man. I wish, I wish we could have had like a film study, like all three of us just watching it right now and actually, just talking about the game. But I was just seeing him just out of place. And there's guys out of place. D-line just wasn't coming off the football. And I'm looking at the defensive tackle. This joker's right there at the nose, zero technique. And he's like 2 or 3 yards off. He ain't running any type of stun or any type of loops, none of that. He just lined up 2 or 3 yards off the ball. Like, how does that even happen? You know what I mean? Crowded football, crowded. But it's not like the first series, I seen a little bit of penetration. I think our defense played decent, but then, like I said, what you do is you eliminate that with Josh Allen's running, his legs. That's what you don't count for. That extra guy running the football, that's why he's always dangerous. Lamar Jackson, dangerous, right? That's what we're talking about. Jalen Hurts, dangerous running the football. So when you have those type of guys in a defense that's not prolific, you're always going to have issues and problems. And then all of a sudden what happens, oh my gosh, Dan Sorensen, oh, he ain't doing no good. Oh, this guy, put Thornhill in. I don't care who you put in there. Baker, everybody was getting the business. When you look, you don't have no pass rush, you cannot cover guys all day long. It's going to be holes. It's going to be open. And so pressure absolutely eliminates that. On the other side of the ball, offensively. Now, look, I've said this. I've kind of like sung the praises of our offensive line, but we were getting beat up. I mean, shoot, there was some things, and I hate calling guys out, but our tackles was having some problems. And all they was bringing 4. They was bringing 4, dropping 7. That's all they was playing. That's it. Playing a lot of man. That's what they were doing. They was beating our guys up at the line of scrimmage, right? But there was pressure. So it wasn't like they was bringing 5 or 6. It wasn't really like a whole lot of blitz. What they was doing, they was just confusing the offensive line. So you know how you just come up, you walk, right? So we make it count, offensive linemen. We making it count. So this is where we are. Here's the mic. This is what we're looking for. As soon as it back off. But all of a sudden, now you running loops, we're getting beat. Just getting beat, man. So tackles, just with the width of the pocket and the depth, issues, just issues. And then all of a sudden, Patrick, he's running. And he made some errant throws. There was some things he probably shouldn't have did. There were some things he probably wanted back. But, dang, cut the guy, right? Defensive end makes a tremendous play, tipping the ball and getting it for the interception. I mean, we down at the red zone to score. We trying to score right then. That takes that ball away. So, man, there's just things that happen in the series of the game that you just like, my gosh, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? But I had to say, man, this is the first time I had to say the Chiefs got beat. It's the first time. I mean, handily just got beat. Other than that, shoot, every other game was close. Like you said, it could have easily went a different way. Probably could be sitting over here, I say 4-1 just because the score was what it was this past week. But I don't know, Shop. Where's those guys at? I know, we talking about personnel. I don't know if we have those guys on the team, especially like on the D line. I just haven't seen it. I just haven't seen it. And that's what I'm looking for.
I go back to the two different things, attitude and effort. And I do say that there's some points to the game where I think our effort, when you talk about the Chiefs defense and offense, the effort I saw down the field was not something that they would call themselves championship. That was not a championship level of effort. When you talk about the way our D-line was chasing Allen as opposed to the way the Bills were chasing Pat.
Yeah.
Bills defense chasing Pat like it mattered. Like it was
yes.
every time they had opportunity to put a hit on him, close to the out of bounds, like
yeah.
slide. It was always that fine edge of, are we gonna get called for roughing or not? So that Pat always felt them around him. Whereas it seemed like multiple times when Allen was running the ball, our guys were hesitant to really lay the hat on him because they didn't want to get the flag. Man, when I watched the film early on that first third down when they ran that quarterback power, I would have told my safeties and linebacker, man, you light him up like a Christmas tree. And you make that offensive coordinator know on that first drive, if you run him, we will put him down. We're gonna lay him down for the rest of the day if you run that quarterback power again. I don't care. And the fact that we didn't do that on that first opportunity, that's when you knew it was gonna be a long day. Because you cannot let teams feel, because you never can guard against the quarterback. Yeah. Like every defense is built to stop the running game, but we never account for the quarterback keeping the ball and running. There's only so many defenders you got, right? Every gap is taken care of.
That's
that
right.
quarterback always that extra offensive weapon that you kind of just throw your hands up and say, all right, give me another set of downs. But when you run a quarterback on a sweep or a power, somebody on that defense got to let him know and look up to the box, let the offense coordinator know, don't you keep running him, we're gonna end his season.
Yeah.
And that never got done. But you see on our side of the ball, 91, 50, a lot of the guys close to the sideline, putting extra hits on Pat, pushing him, out of bounds and all that kind of stuff, even when he slid. It was just a different attitude. They was playing with a different amount of aggression. And we just, I think as a team, it didn't seem like we was ready for that type of physicalness, and we didn't rise to the occasion, really.
That's good. That's good. It's true. You can see it. That's a great point. That's a great point.
It seems almost like confidence-wise, I know for right now, Sorensen's confidence is shot. Whether it's within the team, whether it's within the media, or everywhere, he's not getting anything to get him, motivated for a game, to keep him in the game, to get the best out of him. Maybe it's best if, we do just throw Juan out there just to, give him a relief. I'm not going to, again, I don't think Dan is as bad as everybody else is painting him out to be. Now, again, as we've all said, our defense as a whole just isn't playing worth crap. And I know I said it earlier, like Tyrann Mathieu came out, set the tone for Baltimore. Outside of that, he hasn't really done a whole lot in the rest of the games. He is what is known as an instinctive safety. He knows plays kind of like before they happen. He's great ball awareness. He knows how to make the plays. But if you run the ball at him, you're going to get big chunks. If you're throwing the ball to the receiver that he's covering, you're almost going to get a completion. He is not a cover guy, but that's what we use him as. We almost use him as a safety / nickel. And I don't understand the coverage part of it. But yeah, I like him more so as that roaming safety that just gets to sit back there and make plays. But when he's getting run at, you see him, he grabs the guy up high, he throws him down. He's getting 3 or 4 extra yards. He's not a big tackler. He's a small guy. We know that. So not to say he's not a good safety, because he really is. He's not the safety right now that we're playing him as. And that's hell, I don't know if we've had a safety in the league that plays at nickel and cover receivers. So he's probably the first, right? But he's down in the box quite a bit. When he's able to get through the line of scrimmage, he does make plays in the backfield. The dude is just instinctively that good. But overall, he's not capable. I won't say he's not capable. He is not a cover guy. And he is not the run stopper that, we play him to be. On the other hand, Bolton right now seems like he's having to take a lot off of the linebackers from his play. Neiman hasn't done much. Just put it out there. I think everybody sees it, and I think everybody knew it beforehand. He's much more of a special teams guy. But with Gay being hurt, we got to throw him in there. So it's either, like I said, we haven't done the greatest job of drafting. We haven't. I couldn't tell you one guy that Veach has gotten that's an all-pro guy. Brown hasn't turned out to be that big threat of an offensive lineman that we thought he'd be, that's going to protect, Mahomes, because he's getting out of the pocket quick. So, like right now, a lot of Veach's picks have not panned out. Because Mahomes isn't his, Kelsey isn't his pick, Tyreek Hill isn't his pick. So, like, what else is on our offense or on our team that's that? Chris Jones isn't his pick. So what else is on our team? Who? Who?
Snead.
Oh, Snead. I mean,
he been toasty.
I'm never going to say anything bad about our players. I like Snead, but has he panned out to be a Pro Bowl corner? I know he got hurt last year. He's back fresh this year. He's having to go, inside, outside cover techniques. None of these guys have panned out so far. None of these picks have.
I think the return on investment on Ladarius is going to be something we'll be happy with. I think his natural position is playing the nickel, playing on the slot. I think he's best when he's in there in the middle of the field, being able to go both ways. When you put him on the edge, you can tell he's not as comfortable being close to that sideline and stuff like that. He'd really rather be in the middle of the field, being able to work off the slot. Obviously, the ball being played down the field, he tried to undercut it, and obviously didn't respect Allen's arm enough to think he would be able to flick it there to get to Emmanuel Sanders, which he did. But I mean, you want to encourage guys to make plays, be playmakers all over the field. Right now, 100%. I mean, all the plays we don't make, I think, are more like learning lessons, right? These are moments for these guys to learn why obviously the bullets are real. You can't practice it. It only comes in game time. And it's time to put up and shut up, right? All the playmakers, time to make some plays. We tried to do all the little window dressing to keep us out of certain coverages and keep us out of certain mix. I think for Honey Badger, one thing we got to realize is, I mean, his money ain't no more guaranteed money on his contract. And I think once he's seen what had happened to other safeties before him in previous seasons, you go out there in that last year, go out there all hell bent if you want, you get hurt, ain't nobody gonna have nothing to say about you. So he doesn't look like he's playing as carefree and aggressive and instinctive as he did a year ago. And that might be because, he ain't really got the deal done yet. So he's out there doing what he can do. Obviously, he's trying to, I would believe if he got paid, he probably would unleash a little bit more fury on people. But, I mean, he got to do what he got to do. And the organization got to do what they got to do, right? So everybody's kind of, that's how I feel in my heart, is that, that money right now with him. So it's hard for him to really go out there and just unleash the beast when at the end of the day, you got to make sure you take care of yourself first and foremost as an athlete, right?
That's true. But again, like I go back to Veach, man. Like again,
but look,
we ain't got the picks.
But look, I think, and that's a good perspective. As far as the money part of Matthew. But I believe, man, a lot of his play is just predicated on guys being in the right position, right? I mean, the thing is, look, it's a team game. So the D line has to be prolific. for the linebackers to be good, right? I don't know any linebackers that's been great that didn't have a good D line. I mean, honestly, you can go all through them and see what their D line did. If you was a great linebacker, you had guys in front of you that kept those guys off of you from coming to the second level.
I get that, JD. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a little something on that. There's defenses, Shawn knows, all our blitzes. If they don't hit home, there is no way we as DBs can cover it.
That's my point.
So, yeah.
That's my point. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying is everything is predicated off like Honey Badger's like, look, he can't be dynamic. Everybody else is messing. The D-line ain't getting it. Linebackers have to, try to make up, room and space where they can because they're not reading it right. They ain't in the right position. And so all of a sudden you see him, now he's exposed for what he can and can't do. And so I think everything, man, it's like one of those snowball effects, right? Like, I don't care. You could have the greatest quarterback in the world, like Patrick Mahomes, right? Best quarterback in the NFL, arguably, without a doubt. If the offensive line is now making him seem like just a regular quarterback because they're coming home and getting him, then it doesn't even matter. I don't care how great of an arm you got. So all these things, man, are predicated on everybody doing their job right. And everybody's not doing their job right or to the level that they should be doing of what we expect. And we say this because we play the game. We understand because we watch it out here. And so I'm sitting over here, I'm just looking at the product that's being put out there. And Shop said, man, and to be honest, Shop, that's a great point. The way that the Bills defensive line was crawling and scratching, was trying to get home, was a totally different mindset than I've seen our defensive line playing with. These guys are trying to get skinny. Going over top. They touching Patrick. Look, they didn't care. Matter of fact, the secondary had a lot of holding calls. They didn't even care about getting them. They didn't care. Hey, you know what? Fine, whatever. We'll get one little penalty. Let's line up, play again. So at a certain point, it's like this. We just gonna keep creating pressure. Pressure, like they said, bust pipes. If I could get this guy thinking and just get him uncomfortable and making errant throws and stuff like that, that's what we want to do. What have the Chiefs been doing? What have they been looking at? They've been looking at defensive linemen and defenses coming after our offense only with 4 down linemen. That's what they've been watching. They've been looking at this, man. It's game planning, right? I didn't see now.
We still got a young line.
We got a young line. We got new guys that's still trying to find that continuity with each other, right? That rapport with one another. And so, like you said, Brown hadn't been playing the best. Tough going from right to left, man. It is. It's just a hard thing. It's tough. Niang is his first season. This is his first full season playing tackle. And he's going to get some guys, some real guys on the other side. It ain't preseason no more. This is the real bullets flying right here, baby. And so when you look at those things, you can see the pressure these guys are dealing with. Now, I'll say this, and I know we was kind of talking about this a little bit earlier. Using the gimmicks and stuff have worked for us in the past, right? Little cute stuff and doing all these, getting on the center. You got 3 guys going to, okay. You know what? Sometimes you got to go and play ball. We didn't run the football effectively this past game. We just didn't. We didn't even try to run it. Matter of fact, I looked at first down, 1st and 10. I don't know how many times we decided to run the ball, but we didn't. We just got away from that part of the game. Josh Gordon, I think, is going to add an element to part of that because now it's like, look, we got a big body that can, get guys, use his body and his frame to get open. Like when he came out there and snatched that football, I don't even think the ball was going to him, but that sucker came through all 6'5" of his frame. Just it's Joker. I was like, well, look at this coming off the screen. Dude, I got a 75-inch TV screen, man. It looked like that Joker was laying all the way across his Joker when he caught it. For real. I'm just like, man, we need to see a little bit more of that on offense, so we could get past some of that gimmicky things because look, yeah, Tampa gave the blueprint. Don't let them go deep, right? Like you said, they don't do a lot of checking down because those things are open. I seen check downs open all game last week. He didn't check down not once, not that often. He could have just like throw, dip. Didn't do it. Look, because he's looking for the big play. And that's some of those things, man, we got to get to understand and to get to. Of understanding, like, look, man, take what the defense gives you. But if we drop in 7, they ain't gonna let you beat them deep. It's not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. And they're gonna get physical. Get physical on the little guys. Little receivers. I know, Shawn, hey, look, barbershop see a little receiver come through. man, you better hit him. You better give him a little something to come through there, right? Like you said, Josh Allen, he's running the football. You better give him something. Hit him on his back, whatever you need to do. I don't think we strike that type of fear in those guys' hearts yet. We're not doing that. Like at defensively, ain't no fear in nobody's hearts. That's why they go for it on fourth down. For what? Why not? Why not? So things got to change, man. Some dynamic things have to change. Seriously.
Did you all see a difference in the first half versus the second half? I mean, the defense, Willie Gay, I think he got more snaps in the second half, and we had 3 and outs in the second half, and then obviously we almost had 4 3 and outs, and then the flag, they ended up kind of running the clock out there. But did you see kind of difference in the urgency, like from the offensive or the defensive side in the second half versus the first half?
Definitely the play calling was different coming out in the second half. It was more blitzes being called, more aggression. And like we said, when there are things that are going on with the defense, if D linemen aren't staying in the right gaps, if linebackers ain't making the right reads, as a coordinator, only thing you're left to do is blitz. Because the one thing we know about the blitz game is right when the ball is hiked, everybody know where to go. It ain't you're not reading anything. You're taking gaps, you're busting whoever comes in front of you, you just splatter them. It's a very defined way when guys are a little bit unsure of who's going to be where. You just got to keep blitzing. And as we blitzed more and more in that second half, you saw those, we got them to punt the ball. We started getting the ball back, started getting some momentum. But then, again, it comes down to, for the first half, their D-line is putting hits on our quarterback. So maybe as a coaching staff, you're telling the ref, hey, you got to watch those late hits. You got to watch those late hits. We don't get a call. And JD, E, Ward, y'all know about this. The team that complains is always the one, when they do it, going to get called for it, right? You complain to the refs about holding. And then the second your offense got the ball, you see that holding flag come out. So that's how referees, since we've been playing, they get you to be quiet. All that chirping you're doing about wanting to call, they'll give you the call all right, but it's going to be for the wrong team. So I've watched that hit that Frank put on that quarterback. You can't hit him low no more. You can't hit him in the head. You only got about a 2-foot window. He puts his shoulder pad right in that 2-foot window. He does not spike him into the ground. He does not do anything extra. It was a good football hit.
It was a good hit.
It was a clean football hit on a 6'5" guy.
He jumped in the air. That's why it made it look like he put him down, because he kind of jumped on the floor.
How else do you get a 6'5" guy down to the ground?
You can't lay him down soft. You can't do it. Yeah, they ain't gonna look pretty.
But a lot of these calls nowadays, Barbershop, it's so hard defensively to play the game at full speed, because now there's so many rules against you to where either how you attack it, how you hit a guy, how you react after a tackle, all that shit's played into it. Because like if like JD said, if you jump with the tackle, it's like you're driving a guy into the ground. When yet you're just trying to get him off his feet and put him on the ground. If you go in with your head lower, shit, that's all we've done as tackler. Your head isn't lower, but your head is the first thing going in. It's hard to go in and just like to say you're not trying to target when you're just trying to make a tackle. Or some of it's just so hard defensively to play that game full speed and to expect everything to go your way, because it's not. You're going to make some plays to where you think you're making a good play, and just because of the rules change, it's caused a penalty. And now it's like you got to second guess. You got to play a step slower than what you've been playing. Because that was a good hit that Frank had.
I think
real good hit. It caused no harm to Allen, but the refs viewed it as unsportsmanlike, a personal foul.
And that would have been a 4th stop in a row for our offense. For the defense. Obviously, again, the turnovers that we were receiving on offense made it, the score didn't change any. But that's the kind of momentum you think the defense is going to probably have to start using more of. Something that's is really define where everybody goes.
True. Okay, now Shop. I think it was Hitchens when they Allen had a check down to the running back. I think dude ran for like 25. You remember he took off running to get back to the secondary? But he had his back turned.
Defense, there is a play action pass. They call it bust out. You got to bust out, and you're supposed to chase the double crosses. When the 2 slot guys, hit like that, when you check in for the run, and it's not, you see, because they did it from a 2-back set. They had the fullback in there. They both dove into the line of scrimmage. Linebackers checked up, and then they busted out. I'm not saying you need to.
You don't
Turn
bust
your back
out with
and
your head with
ignore
your
it.
name pointed towards Josh Allen.
Oh, you got to. No, you got to.
No, you don't.
Like if you get caught if you get caught too far inside on that play action too fast, they tell you got to drop to a spot. You got to go to that spot, right? I don't care how you get there, but you got to go.
JD, your name should never be as a linebacker. Your name should never be pointed towards the quarterback.
No,
I disagree, but the Bills did a good job of taking advantage of it because they actually ran that same play a little bit earlier, and Croft caught the ball, and Bolton was a little bit short. He was running. It was early in the first quarter. They did the same exact thing out of a different formation, but they got him up on the play fake. Tyler Croft was up there. They dropped it over Bolton's head. He was about 2 or 3 yards short of it, and so they came back to the same concept. And this time they did a double, and it took both of the linebackers out. There's got to be some type of D line or somebody who needs to account for that running back once he comes through the line of scrimmage.
Right. Because
if you're gonna play with that concept, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Because it's timing, right? Because you time. Hopefully, he's making the fake, right? The play action. Now you're getting pressure. Just get in the way somehow. Just like I said, to make an errant throw. Because sometimes like I used to see linebackers all the time. We run a boot. And them suckers, as soon as they see a boot coming on over route, them suckers just take out running.
Okay, that's 100% understandable. If you fall for the play action, yes, get your ass back in the coverage. Right. But that crossing route is not going to come any deeper than 15 yards.
Right.
That's as far as you got to get as a linebacker. You ain't got to turn around and haul ass with your name pointed towards him. You practice that in practice every week. That's a part of your pregame practice schedule.
Right. It just sounds funny how you say it. Like,
again, I just think in that situation for that play, it seemed like they saw something earlier, so they went ahead and they set him up and ran it again, and they got him. Right. It was they saw the DBs. I mean, the linebackers both busting out. They call it bust out.
He was running so fast he couldn't even stop. He slid trying to get back up to the running back.
Again, every once in a while they make plays too. Debo,
I know, Jay, and I'm not. I hope I'm not making anybody look bad on our defense. Again, I'm one of our number one supporters of any particular player, coach, and fan that's associated with the Chiefs. I never try to downplay anybody that's associated with the Chiefs. I just try to point out some plays that hurt us. Point out some things that this is Chiefs' concern, and that's kind of what we voice our opinions on. Like, are a few of the concerns that we see.
You're gonna have about 50,000 views on it. Like, man, you ain't supposed to see nobody's number on their back running for their name.
We're gonna have to break down that film, that old film, to show me turning around, busting out. I'm like, yeah, look.
Nah, bro, you run at an angle
right there.
When I see you run I'm busting out. Angle. You run at an angle to get to your spot.
Well, but that goes, and it really goes to, that's how, when you have a running quarterback and a guy like that, and when you said they did that counter with the quarterback, it's dangerous. They got to honor it. They have to. You know what I mean? You got to honor the run, and that's what I mean. Shoot, when you get a defense just from the offensive philosophy of doing that, like they had to, respect the run, respect it. That's just open up the pass all day long. It's just what you want to do. So.
Great game plan by the Bills. Great game plan.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it was
playoff team. Come on, man. Look, playoff team.
They're a good team. We knew that before going into it. We knew that last year.
Yeah.
We knew that as soon as Josh Allen took over. He's a playmaker. He's a good quarterback. Again, to me, he's a top 5 quarterback. And on a team that's got a bunch of no-name guys, when I say no-name, like not a lot of popular guys. And he's out there.
Who's that?
Josh Allen. Talking about the Bills.
Oh, Diggs.
Okay.
What's the name of Beasley? Little Beasley. He get busy. Little Bees get busy every once in a while. Sanders. Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders. He got some.
I play fantasy football. I know the whole lineup. I play fantasy football. So
Knox. They got some boys now.
Singletary.
Yeah, now they running back. Now the running back core, I'm not really with, but the wide receivers, he's got some guys now. He's got some weapons.
Diggs is a big name. Diggs is a big time receiver. I give him props. Yeah. Emmanuel he's not a has been. Right now he's a name. He's a household name, but he's not anything that's going to cause any fear to any secondary. I don't think he's that type of player anymore.
Again, I play fantasy, so I know all the names. I mean, I'm in 12 fantasy leagues, so.
You said that, man. I couldn't believe it. You said, I'm like, this can't be right.
Well, you're actually in 12?
Yeah.
Who?
Damn. I'm at 7. I thought that was a lot, but 12 that's ridiculous.
You're right, it is. That's completely overload. So.
I love it though, man. I did want to ask you guys some questions about the offensive side of the ball. We kind of got into it a little bit, but Mahomes had a press conference either today or yesterday where he says, I have the quote here, "I've been a crazier player as far as scrambling and making throws, but in my career, I've never been someone who throws a lot of interceptions. I have to look at it now, reevaluate what I'm doing, and I have to cut it out." And during that game, Collinsworth kind of pointed out that there was a lot of the underneath stuff they were giving us all night that we just weren't taking, and JD, you kind of alluded to that. What is it going to take for us to kind of embrace that? That's what we're going to kind of get. Like that's the kind of looks we're going to get on defense. We got to kind of embrace the underneath stuff.
I mean, you asking what is it going to take? I mean, we've already got the losses to show. So right now, we just got to come out and do it. I think he's well recognized as being the top quarterback in the league right now. Probably most popular player in the NFL right now. But he's also not known for throwing slant routes, for throwing hitch routes, or taking the short gimme stuff. Patrick has been known to carve up defenses, whether he's outside of the pocket or inside. And if he's not able to carve open those defenses because teams are taking Tyreek Hill away and the guy that's taking the top off the defense, now it's, okay, we get Kelsey with these little short 10 routes, 8 yards, and he gives us what he gives us. Or we try to get Mahomes, now Gordon, and Robinson, these other little short routes. That's not what we are. We want the chunks. And if the chunks aren't there, then yeah, he's immediately getting out of the pocket. And it's like you're either going to take the hit, throw the ball away, or force it.
Look, it's that's what practice is for. So you call it purposeful practice. And everything that we did, you know you're good at this, right? You know you can throw the deep ball. You know you can do those things, right? But you get into practice and you go through scenarios, right? Things you're not good at, let's just go over them. Check down. We're going this in a drill, in these team drills. 7-on-7, I don't care if it's 7-on-7, you have to go through the check down, check down, check down, check down. Now you just make a part of it, because the thing is, to make any habit stick, or you to do something, you got to work it over and over again. And so they'll start incorporating that more, like I said, in practice, doing these things. I know he's seen it, he's heard about it. Shoot, he's seeing it right now in the film. Right? They're going through the film. I guarantee it's like, look what they're giving you. So that whole moniker of like, take what the defense gives you, that's what he has to do, right? He knows he could, look, he's a gunslinger. He can get it in windows that other people can't. He can make throws other people that can't. The easy throws is the ones we need to get him start working on now, right? So we don't need for you to be, John Wayne or whoever, throwing the ball down the field, having a cannon. You had that part of your game. You got that on the wraps. The little things, right? The check down, the 5 yards, the 6 yards, like E says, throwing some slants, right? Now you got a big body on the outside. You ain't got to worry about, corners coming up and trying to body Josh Gordon. You know what? Throw a slant to him.
Yeah, he's the perfect guy for a slant.
Huh?
He's the perfect guy for a slant.
Perfect guy. So there you don't have to run all the little, the motions and the flips and flopping and, you turning around on, like, some of that stuff looks, I just laugh at it because it's cute, but I'm like, I know it's ain't gonna work. And it does. It's just, you just get, it's window dressing, right? They're the best at it. But now it's like, okay, I watched them do like different things to try to trick the defense. Defense didn't budge. They just played what they played. They ain't checked nothing, they just played straight.
Buffalo has a sound team though.
Huh?
They have a sound team. They have a really good sound team.
Come on, man. Sean McDermott. Sean, you played with Sean up there, right? McDermott?
That's Leslie Frazier, right?
Yeah, well, Leslie, but Sean, Sean's going to have a lot to say about that. I mean, they're going back, they talking because they defensive-minded guys. And so Sean, I had Sean when he was got to Philly, and I guess he left, and then he came back, and S-Dot, you was under him then, right? Kind of philosophy.
Yeah. So I was with McDermott both in 02 and in 06. defensive assistant, but then he came back as a coordinator for the organization. I was able to do a coaching intern with the Eagles. Coach McDermott was there during training camp. So obviously a bright-minded guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's all about building culture, attitude, purpose, a strong faith guy. And when he got to Buffalo, he cut some guys that, you know, the organization felt like were their guys. He felt some guys that the Buffalo Bills fan base thought were great players.
Yeah.
And McDermott came in there and got rid of them, traded them, cut them, said that these guys, they don't play hard. They don't play through the whistle. I can't, they make too much money for me to try to convince them, so I'm just gonna get rid of them. And we're gonna rebuild this thing from the ground level. So he knows how to cut them down and build them up. He's, like you said, he's built up a team that know how to go hunt.
Yeah.
Right? Ain't nobody gonna cut on that film and say that the Buffalo Bills don't show great effort on any play. They might not win every snap, but you're gonna see great effort. And guys like Jordan Poyer in the 21, the safety.
So I like Poyer and I like Hyde. Both of those safeties, they both play hard.
Yep. Neither one of them the most talented, right? But they give you what they got, all 100%. Every snap of the game, they give it to you. So you can win with those guys like that. And then your linebackers, obviously, guy from Virginia Tech. I know he got a bunch of cousins and brothers in Edmonds, right? Those 6'6", predator-looking joker. He's doing. I mean, he can cover. Is that the DN? That's a middle linebacker.
Linebacker.
Okay.
He finishes well, but then they got Rousseau from Miami. Got him last year. He opted out. Now so this is his first year. He defensive player of the AFC this week after the game he had against us. But you can tell he wasn't thinking. He was out there just being an athlete. I wish so much after that first drive, because we had the defense out there so long, that we would have capitalized off of that by starting to run it downhill, let them offensive linemen lay heavy on these guys. When you got great athletes, obviously the one thing they hate, they hate being tired, and then they hate for 300-pound men when they tired to be laying on them.
Right.
Just laying heavy on them, running downhill at them. They want the pass rush. That's how you let me, as an athlete, I get the advantage over the offensive lineman because I know I'm a better athlete. When you going big on big, doubling down, staying on those doubles, moving the line of scrimmage, taking that 3-5 yard carry, continuously doing that every series, man, you get a defense to start thinking how bad I want to be out here. And that game, again, without that fumble, us getting the ball back, having the opportunity to put another, 10-play drive together and really laying heavy on them to go about a score. I think that, again, it's a hindsight is 2020, but that game could have turned a completely different if we would have called some plays a little bit different, just allowing our offensive line to eat.
Right. That's true. And I seen even when they was kind of running some things, they ran like Tyreek from the backfield too, a couple of times. He got like 9-10 yards just from the backfield, just running the ball. Like, hey, shoot, that was his natural position. Shoot, put that joker back there every once in a while, because now we don't have CEH, right? So that's the next thing coming up this week. What are you gonna do now? CEH is out. Okay, look, Williams is a great back, and
you want to put who back there? Tariq Hill?
I mean, I'm just saying once in a while. I'm not saying this, put him back. I'm just saying when
That's
they
our
ran
best receiver, man. No way.
Oh no, I'm just saying when they ran him. I'm just saying when they ran him in the game, that it just gave the defense a different look. Having a real fast guy, the fastest dude in the NFL in the backfield who's zipping around. And you can put that cheetah, you can put that joker anywhere. I mean, I don't care where you put a Ferrari, it's still it's gonna fly. So I'm just saying with McKinnon, it's good. Williams is good. If you want to run Tyreek in the backfield every once in a while, or Hardman, shoot, why not? Just little. We got to run the football. I'm just saying that. We need to run the football a little bit more than what we did this past game. When we run it the last 2 weeks, we got over 100 yards rushing. And Shot was saying, you had those big guys up front. Now you had Trey Smith, Yang, and all those guys leaning on them. That's what you want to see. Mm-hmm. That's it, man. Like you said, defense, like you said, they start like, man, what time's this game over? They looking up at the clock. Hey, they could feel it. They could feel it. So get them big jokers like that leaning on them, like you said. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and Andy Reid has used Tyreek Hill in the backfield. I remember during the Alex Smith days, I remember that he would be lined up with him a lot back there. I mean, he'll use him sparingly, but
right.
Mix it up. All right, so we'll go to our game predictions. This is the Shawn Barber Bowl. The not the Redskins, the Washington football team, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite. I believe the line's now 6.5 now, 6.5 point favorite away in Landover. Now, what are your score predictions, and who do you guys have in this game on Sunday?
I gotta go 31-14. I mean, it's got to be a significant win for us. Heineke's the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I figure this has to be a statement game for us. You know, after all the heat that we're getting, you know, we got 2 losses that are at home, of all places. You know, we lost at home to you know, the Chargers and now Buffalo. So we have to come out and make a statement. Offensively, for sure, and I think defensively, this would be a good team for us to fix a few things and find out what our identity is going to be. Because right now, you know, I think we're last in damn near all the categories of what bad defenses are. So we got to come out and make a statement. So 31-14.
I agree with you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 35-17. I'm with you. It's gonna be a statement game, but we could definitely put those points up on the board. And why not do it against Washington? Heineke, I mean, you know, he's a guy that's come in. He's had some success, but I think if you game plan him right, I mean, they got some receivers over on their end too. I know that their tight end is
whoever.
McLaurin.
That's 17.
Yeah, McLaurin's a bad boy. They got the running back's good too. So they got some guys, but I think we hold them to 17 points, man, to be honest with you, because the defense got to come out with something different as well. They had to put a different product on here. So yeah, I'm gonna go 35-17.
All right, now it's time for the fantasy guys, so I can fill in all the blanks. Aaron Gibson is the running back. They got McLaurin. They got Humphreys, Adam Humphreys. The tight end is Ricky Seals. He just came in.
Man, we don't want to know the whole line. We want to know your prediction.
I was just feeling. I mean, the listeners might. The listeners were saying a bunch of things. You know, you saying they got a running back. You know, they want to feel like who these names are. So I was filling in the blanks.
Curtis
The tight end is replacing Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas on IR, so they got another tight end. Seals just came off of a 8-target game, 5 receptions. So that's a good pickup for your fantasy if you're looking for a tight end on the waiver wire. Obviously, the Washington football team is a team with Heineke. They're going to put up probably about, I'm going to say they're going to put up 24. So I'm going to say 37-24, the Chiefs. Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator, obviously he's long in the tooth. And the thing is, with these coordinators, we know when you've been doing something for a long time, it's hard to change.
Yeah, right.
You know, you say the blueprint has been put out by Tampa about, hey, let's just rush forward and drop everybody else. Even though the Washington team is built to be able to do that, they got some studs with Sweat.
Yes, they do. Yes.
They got Sweat, and then they got the kid from OSU, the Maryland kid, young rookie of the year. So they got guys up front. They got a bunch of Alabama guys, right? Allen and another guy they got from Alabama out there putting on that pressure in that front 4. So they got the ability to drop 7, but I don't know, man. I think they're gonna be one of those. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I think they're gonna do what they same stuff they've been doing last year when they was one of the best defenses in the league. Pressure package, play a lot of man, try to reroute. Even though against a team that has a lot of speed, I think that their pride and their ego is gonna be like, we ain't copying nobody. We ain't doing that. We're gonna do what we do. Even though that hasn't got that many wins this year. I think their pride and their ego and what they do. They're going to stick with what they do instead of trying to morph to something that's been working. And obviously, I don't think that's going to work out in their behalf. But so I got 37-24.
Okay, so I'm going to change mine 31-21 then. So I just because of I feel like our defense will play better. 21 points isn't all that great, but it's better than what we've been doing. So all of these give them 20. So 31-21.
You see that, JD? That explanation I gave was so good, man.
It was. It made you change. Yeah.
Hey, I put that butter on that bread. So nice. He was like, you know what, man? Give me another slice of that, bro. Give me another slice of that.
It was funny because I was going to say the same thing. I want to change mine, and he beat me to it.
Hey man, that's what fantasy do, man. You start learning all these names, all these stats, and before you know it, man, you feel like man, like I should be an assistant coach someplace.
Yeah. Well, I
think I can stop some people, man.
Well, I got McLaurin. I got McLaurin on my fantasy team, and I had Josh Allen last week, so it was kind of bittersweet because I'm like, dang, God, but he's running. I'm like, oh, you kind of like, score, don't throw it in.
Did you win? Did your team at least win?
Oh yeah, we won. Shoot, I put in 190 points. Yeah, the one we in, doo boo boo, man. That's geez. That's 18 teams. Yo, that's the first time I ever played with 18 guys in a fantasy. I don't think I ever do that again. Shoot. we getting there's guys on teams that's been cut for 3 weeks already. Still on the roster.
Yeah.
Also, another side note to the score predictions. I just looked the total points for the game is the highest of the weekend. It's 56.5 for the Redskins, Washington football team and Chiefs game.
Oh, I got to take that. Shoot.
I take the over.
Yeah.
Some couple of late touchdowns in the end. I'll take the over.
Yeah. Last question before we go. JD, we kind of talked about the kick return situation. Who do you guys think needs to be the guy back there? We talked about it being just moving Hardman back there full time. What do you guys do? You guys want to keep Pringle back there, or? And I know they tried Mike Hughes out too.
Hardman.
Yeah, I'm a Hardman guy.
It's his spot. Hardman. Too. No need to be nobody else. Hardman.
I like to see our offenses go ahead and kind of settle down with Tyreek Hill, Gordon, and Harden being the three wides, and then let Pringle go ahead and be the specialist as far as kickoff returns, and only bring Pringle in for that 4 wide. Obviously, I'm leaving out D-Rob. I think he's been in for a while. We've kind of seen what he got. We know his highs, his lows. We know what we got with him. He's a solid receiver. Just at this point in the season, I think we need a little bit more at that position. So. I'm cool with keeping Pringle back there, but I think we need to get a little bit settled in on the offensive, who gonna play what, so we know what we got. And then obviously the 88, Jordy Forson. I love his red zone presence, but the running game, JD, you got to tell him how to stay on the big. He got to stay on that 50 on that end until the running back clears, and then go up to the second level. He climbed into the second level, 50 come off, hitting our running back on, like we didn't even capture the edge. Where you releasing to, bro? I know you saw all that.
It's a wide receiver mindset. We still trying to get him out of. That's what it is, just patty cake with a guy. You can't patty cake with guys. No, Sure.
Gotta lay heavy on him, man.
Yeah, yes.
All right, fellas, that does it for us. We got the predictions done. Everyone's taking the Chiefs and cover them this weekend. But thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. Shawn, it's awesome to have you on, man. I'm actually from the Northern Virginia area.
About time.
And I actually have a friend of mine who's actually a mutual acquaintance of yours. I don't know if you know Yvonne Duncan or Yvette Berry.
Yvonne Duncan is actually my mother-in-law.
No way.
I ended up marrying her daughter.
I did not know that.
Wow.
So do you know Miss Yvonne from Xerox or from?
Yeah, I know from Xerox because my buddy's mom Yvette Berry was like really close friends with Yvonne Duncan, and I remember when I was younger, they mentioned you, and I was like, oh, okay, I have Shawn Barber coming on the show today, so that's that's cool.
That's awesome.
That'd be amazing. I'll make sure she watched the show. They live in McDonough, Georgia now.
Oh wow.
So she's retired now. Her and Alfonso.
Wow. Dang.
Small world.
Real small.
Yes, well, thank you, sir. I'm glad you finally came on.
Yeah, appreciate you, Shop. Yeah, we got to have you sign a waiver now, all right? So we're going to send it.
JD said y'all was going to send me some compensation. My compensation was that he was going to get you to go to a men's group.
I'm going to send you a puzzle.
A puzzle?
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's all the compensation I need, man. 5,000 pieces. Anything less than that, don't waste your time. 5,000 pieces, bro.
Yeah, Shop. Appreciate you, brother, for sure.